Jack has hired me to restore an historic bank building he bought just north of downtown Fort Worth. He's planning on using it as a furniture store, and apparently it's in real bad shape, which just means that this is going to be extra fun. Wow, this is cool.
You think?
Nice spot.
Well, it looks good, but I just want to get your opinion.
It's not an especially sexy building, but it's typical of a, turn-of-the-century commercial building. It's solid brick masonry. Then you walk inside. It's been gutted, a nuclear waste zone. What was this?
It was a bank originally.
Fort Worth, if you think about it, had a ton of great history. I mean, the fact this is a bank, I mean, is it possible that, Sundance Kid was in here, right?
You never know.
Maybe robbed a bank here. This space is really kind of perfect for Jack's furniture stores. Its details fit in with the whole American Old West concept of his other stores. Oh, well, look at that. Do you see this over the window here?
Uh-huh.
That would have been a vestibule, so you would have had actually some doors inside here. You would have been able to walk into some kind of closed space. It'd be fun to have a bar. I don't know if you'd...
Oh, yeah, we do at every store.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, we have a bar for the guys to come in, drink a beer while the women shop. It works pretty good.
I like your place already. Was there anything interesting upstairs?
Very interesting. You might like it up there. Let's take a look.
All right. This is neat. Oh, I love this staircase. I think this is original. Wow, that's really cool. Oh, my word. Wow. I mean, Jack, here's your history. I mean, look at this place. I mean, look at your original transom. You squeeze this hardware right here, transom to open lower. I mean, here is your air conditioning.
This hallway's kind of interesting to me here.
So they apartments, or?
The story I got, and this was from one of the neighbors.
Yeah.
He was 100% sure that there were working girls in this building.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And pointy, tiny.
I should have recognized it.
Yeah.
Well, you get higher margins with that business.
And true, true.
Upstairs was a place for ladies of the night. I mean, you're looking back in time there. I can almost imagine the voices and the noises that would have been coming out of this place. Well, so if there was a bank downstairs, right? And so were the guys cashing their checks and then?
They sold their cattle, rode up here, I guess, cashed their checks, and then needed someplace to spend it. So maybe this was
it.
Can
you imagine?
Yeah.
Gladys, are you in there?
I guess you open up and pick which door you want.
Wow. That's crazy. I got a whole new vibe about this place. There's probably some big cowboys. There's probably some big cowgirls. There's a lot of history up there. What do we want to do up here? This is kind of an office, kind of a...
Yeah, offices, maybe residential.
Oh, wow.
But...
What kind of residential?
I'm staying away from that.
This is what I'm reading in this space. You've got incredible history up here. You've got kind of gutted history downstairs. I think we pick up a lot of these details. Taking doors like this downstairs, the transoms are great. The hardware, even this hardware, like this rim lock hardware, right? That's totally from the, early 1900s, going back even to the 1890s. So these are real timestamps for me that really date this building and when it was here and what it was doing here. Jack's hired me to do this restoration. We're going to use the design inspiration from upstairs, the history from upstairs, to really transform the downstairs. We're going to redo a storefront, build a store counter. We're building this bar where the guys can basically get a beer while they're watching. This place can communicate what your business is, what the history of Fort Worth is. I mean, this is great. My buddy Dave is part of an historic hunting and fishing club outside of Dallas. It has some Civil War era buildings. I'm talking from the 1860s. They're looking to build a new boathouse and are taking bids. I'm going to go down there and take a look to see if I can get inspired. What an awesome place.
Yeah, well, you picked a wonderful day to be out here at the club.
Yeah, this is awesome. So, oldest house?
This is the oldest house. Yeah,
Okay.
This is known as the men's clubhouse.
All right.
So we think it's around 1860 is how far back it goes.
Are these all part of the club?
The club has two clubhouses, the men's and the women's clubhouse.
Okay.
Women's clubhouse was about 1890 or so. was when it was built. It was originally, the gamekeeper lived upstairs. They had
wow.
the memory room there. There's about 20 other cottages.
What incredible history. I mean, this is really great. Hup, hup, hup. Good boy. Sit. In college, one of the first woodworking jobs I did for pay was I built a boathouse for my dad. That one was really kind of plain and boring. This one's gonna be a lot more fun. I think Romeo likes this better than I do. Oh my gosh, he's already got in the water.
The idea is we want to put a boathouse kind of right behind where Romeo is.
Okay.
So that fishermen can fish here. This is deeper water running through here.
Okay.
So we want to be able to have an area where kids can cast out, you know, some kind of open deck area where people can just hang out.
I'm out here, I'm fishing. It'd be nice to kind of look back at this structure and go, oh yeah, I'm at, you know, this great club with this awesome history, right? If you kind of catch some of that. I noticed the railing on the women's deal. I mean, it might be fun to have some kind of railing that led you out there, maybe.
The women's clubhouse has the architectural detail on the side that we really would like to mimic some in the boathouse.
So you have two slips and then some kind of open deck on the side, right?
Right.
And then some kind of gable structure covering the two boat slips, right?
Right.
And pretty simple.
Yeah, I can picture a tin roof would be wonderful. Some exposed rafters, but I'm one of 7 members on the board. We've got to sell this to the board, you know, and some of them are really into historic preservation and the beautiful things you can do. Others aren't so much.
Sure.
And so that's kind of our challenge
Yeah, no
when
worries.
we've got a lot of people.
Sure. I want to do this job because I think it's a cool project, but building on water is difficult. Well, I look forward to coming out here and fishing at some point.
That's part of the package. Can we get a reduced price for that?
Maybe you can. I'm back at the bank building that Jack has hired me to restore. The first thing we've got to do is salvage as many original features as possible.
We want to take all of the trim and case of these things. So, no shims. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be exactly the same that we were seeing over at that Willing house when we removed those units, which is these doors were just set by the moldings. No.
Oh, don't break it. Those doors and pieces are, you know, shotgun hole full of timestamps. They're great character pieces. In the brothel, they had windows looking into the room, right? What in the world? What are we finding? Anything fun?
The nails are holding it onto this on both sides.
Right, so you pull the trim off one side, you pull the nails out of the plaster and come it off. We don't have to do it, but I know we're gonna lose pieces of it unless we keep it all together. You know, when you say why salvage anything from that building, that'd be like saying why salvage anything from any building. Save things that are mementos to our past, that remind us of where we came from. So naturally, we would keep all those doors, moldings, trims, details that are wonderful. Back then, they made things with integrity and beauty, and so it's important. If nothing else, I hope Jack's gonna let us take these profiles and use them downstairs.
Not hard, just little.
Don't torque that glass.
Oh, there's a pipe connected to this, Mike. Just a second. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. That's coming down with the, that's coming down quite a bit there, Mike.
Wow.
Okay, there we go.
So getting these doors out in one piece is a big deal. The transom is kind of a defining characteristic of a Southern-style house from this period. The screen was because they didn't have air conditioning in 1900, and they had windows open, and there was air movement, and so they would open their transom. I think these screens were all working. Yeah, that transom works. Watch out, there's dust up there. So here's one room. Here's another room. Here's the other deal right there. Bed on one wall.
Yeah.
Been a nightmare. I mean, can you imagine the noises coming out of this place? I mean, just these thin walls right here.
It's almost like staying at your parents' house.
I'm dropping in on my buddy Ralph at Old Home Supply to look for a bar for the bank restoration job. It'll serve as the highlight for the furniture store going in there. So I'm hoping to find something that'll fit perfectly.
I think I have several things that you can look at that would be an
Okay.
option for you.
All right, well, let's go check it out. Romeo?
Here's a bar, Brent, that it was built as a bar.
Okay. Well, I think this is a little too funky.
Okay.
It's probably too frilly for a man bar.
Yeah.
Like, would you want to go have a beer at this bar? Maybe
If it was a good beer, I'd have it for sure.
You're a
If
cupcake.
it's good and free, yeah.
What else you got?
I have a piece across the street that's long, but you can cut it down. It's
Okay. Yeah, let's check that out.
Definitely period. Okay, Brent, see what you think of this.
Oh, okay. What area do you think this is?
Oh, the guy I bought it from said it was like around after the turn of the century, about around 1905, somewhere in that area.
Yeah. I really like that. It's a beautiful top.
Yeah.
How long is it?
I believe it's 15 feet long.
Yeah, so 15. I mean, it's a big space that we've got, but there's nice detail in here, that beaded detail and then that panel. This bar is really gonna work in Jack's building because it's from that same period, and we're gonna have to cut it in half and then raise it up so it'll function as a bar in his store. Well, how much do you want for this?
$800.
This is perfect, actually. Yeah, I'll take it. Sold.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Well, I'll send a truck over and we'll pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Come on, Romeo. Dave called me the other day and told me that I'd won the bid for the boathouse job. Now comes the interesting part. I've got to figure out how to build a boathouse on a little Texas lake.
You got that part?
Hey, Alan. Hey.
Hey, Brett, how you doing?
Stay. Building on water is tricky, so I'm bringing in Alan, who has the machinery and the expertise of driving piers so that we can build this dock right. To build a stable dock, you have to have a good foundation. Driving these piers into the ground is really what is giving us our firm foundation to build off of. I want to see this old monster work. You know, Alan's got a really slick, historic, I would even call it, pier driving system. Driving piers and doing things like that, you know, that we've been doing for thousands of years. It's a fun thing to see it shrunk down to a 20-foot little barge he's got. I loved it. When I built that boathouse for my dad in Canada, I didn't have cool machines like this. Did it just turn off? Why did it stop running? We're out here at the boathouse build, driving some piers into the water, and right from the start, it doesn't look like anything about this job is going to be easy.
What's going on?
We broke a bolt.
So we got one pipe in, went in pretty good, and then the thing broke. And so if we keep up at this pace, it could be a while before this dock gets finished.
All right, one down, 25 more to go.
Yeah, we just gotta get this one bolt tightened up, and then we'll be back in business again.
Okay, good.
I found a great bar the other day for the inside of the bank building we're restoring, but it's not tall enough, so today I've got to mill a new base to give it some height. So this thing currently is how tall? So it's 32. We're gonna go up to here.
Okay.
So you're gonna build a box that will lift this whole thing up. I'm using this 5-head molder to make this trim that's gonna wrap the base of this bar. A molder is basically a machine that takes raw wood and turns it into a finished piece of trim. All right, you got the base?
Yep, it's all ready.
All right, so I got the, this piece. You want to, okay. So ideally, we align this at the bottom. This bar has to be cool because we are restoring Jack's building back to kind of its original form. We're trying to tell that original story. So we're actually putting in a bar in there that's gonna tell the same story, that's gonna make it look and feel like it was there always.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, you want to go up on its back first?
How's that thing loose? When putting together woodwork, it's always important to remember to have the right size screws.
I didn't do that on purpose, sorry. Okay, one more time.
Try again.
All right. You want to take it down, or you want to just walk it over?
Let's walk it over there.
All right. All right. So just line up in the front corner. Come to me. There you go.
I think I'm in.
It's like somebody measured it.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, it has good patina. Looks old. It is historic. Job well done. But I mean, that's the right height, right?
Yeah.
Give me a beer! Or whiskey or something. Come on, Romeo. Come here, knucklehead. Come. Give. Today I'm in the historic Chase Court neighborhood to check out an investment property for George, the owner. He's bought the house right next door to his own, and he's hired me to take a look to see if I've got any ideas.
The house needs a lot of work done, but you can still see the lines of
Oh,
it.
for
I guess
sure.
you would call this prairie style.
Chase Court is an old historic district here in Fort Worth. A wealthy banker kind of plotted the land out in the 1880s and was therefore one of the earliest gated communities in Texas. You know, I was looking when I drove up, this house originally had a tile roof. Fort Worth in 1920 was one of the most prominent areas for tile roofs. We'd be able to look in the attic and see the rafters would be bigger and thicker than a 2x4.
You're going to be brave enough to go into the attic? I've never ventured up there.
You've never been to the attic?
No.
Why?
I think there's a spirit up there that doesn't want you there. And
Oh, really? Can we go in the basement?
You can.
I can, but you won't. So George is pretty convinced that there's spirits in the house. You know, I don't know what to think.
All right. Prepare to step back in time.
Wow. All right.
I've got so much stuff piled up in here.
You could have a heck of a garage sale in here.
And I've had several. And I still have stuff.
It wouldn't have surprised me if a goat walked around the corner. I mean, who knows what's in that place? Who knows what's living or dead? I mean, do you have all the original light? I mean, seeing the one here and here and here and these sconces.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. I like how your doors are all stained. It makes me wonder whether all your trim was stained in this house.
Upstairs or basement first?
Let's go upstairs.
Okay, that sounds good. I don't like the basement. That's the access to the attic. I've never been up there. I've never poked my head up there.
So you don't mind if I poke my head up there? I guess I need something to stand on.
Here.
You know, I think he thinks there's a spirit in the house. I'm not sure, but there could be. No,
God, you scared me.
Sorry about that. I don't know why I thought it'd be funny, but I thought it'd be, I just decided to scare George. I thought it'd be funny. I'm sorry I scared you, George. You know, you'd have 2x6 rafters, which of course means that you probably did have a tile roof.
Tile roof,
yeah.
okay.
Probably most of these houses would have had tile roofs. And so it was a nice discovery, despite scaring George. So I guess the basement's the last place to check out.
Okay, I'm just gonna stay up here if I need to call an ambulance for help or anything.
Oh, look at that. I don't know what the hell that thing is. All those upstairs sash are sitting here in a pile.
Salvageable?
Totally. Come on down, you gotta see this. George has owned this house for 3 years, and he hasn't stepped foot in the basement because he thinks it's haunted. All these original features have been stored down here in the basement. It's an awesome find. You got a lot of neat finds down here. You really should come down. Oh, you got roof tiles. Oh my gosh, here's your original roof tiles.
Oh, can you bring that up now? I would like to see
No,
that.
you gotta come down. Come on down, you gotta see this. There's too much stuff down here.
Oh, Lord.
Look at this. There's your roof tile. A Ludovici.
Now, Ludovici, is that just the brand name or is that something
Yeah, no, Ludovice's the maker, okay? They're a 150-year-old company. They've been around for a long time. That's fantastic, right? That's a huge find. Good for you. Look at this. There's all your sash and all your screens.
Okay.
I mean, that's a huge find, and they're in good shape. It's a game changer in my mind of what it does architecturally to this house. Here's what I'll do. I will sketch up your sash back in your house. You will see A, B, you'll see a transformation. Yeah, what it could be. My main focus on this bank building restoration is the downstairs and then the complete exterior. I got Brett down there working on the exterior this morning.
Super cool.
Sometimes what you've got to do is take off that non-historic fabric to find out what's underneath. Yo, what's up?
I'm down at the bank building, and you got to come check this out. So I just poked a hole in the facade, right? You got to see what I found.
That way. My favorite part of demo is when you end up finding some hidden element covered over from the past. Those hidden treasures are what make historic buildings awesome. So all that's left is just that metal frame.
Yeah.
This is a great find, but it could change everything. I gotta get Jack down here right away to check this out. Come on, Kettle, come on. The bank building restoration is a complete overhaul. During all the demo work, we found some rare architectural features, so I called Jack, the owner, down here to take a look. We're making decent progress on everything, right? But the reason I called you down here was because of what we found underneath the walls. Really, actually, a great find as far as I'm concerned. You've got the original, I think, cast iron posts that go on either side of your door. The way storefronts were made, they were either made of wood, which was an inexpensive way of making them, or they were made of cast iron, which is actually speaks more to the fact that this was a bank in a more expensive building. It was an awesome deal. And it's like peeling back history and finding something that was 40 or 50 years earlier than what we originally thought. And what we would do is we would use historic photos and everything else to rebuild the face of this based on this cast iron. Now, let me show you from the outside because you've actually got a really pretty decorative face on the front side of these things. I actually went through there and actually hammered that stuff out of there. But you can see that it's a decorative face that wraps up, and then we've got a metal beam that supports all that brick below. It's a little bit of a game changer as far as architecturally and historically what you can have, but I think it's good for you too because for $4,000 or $5,000, not too much for this whole deal, I'll redo the entry, but make our focus these cast iron pieces. I know it's a little bit more expensive for Jack to reconfigure this storefront, but I think it's worth it, and I hope he'll let me do it. This improves the quality of your entrance 50%.
Make it stand out.
It totally stands out. I mean, if you look at all the other things across the face of there, they're all brick, right? You've actually got a really unique one here, and so, anyway, it's just a good deal.
That's a nice find.
Yeah. I hope Jack agrees to keep these columns. It's going to add a little more time, a little more money, but it's going to transform this building.
Let's see what, the cost comes out to.
Okay. Back at the boathouse build, all the piers have been driven into the ground. So now we're building the floor while trying not to drown at the same time.
We've been pretty good, a little wet.
Romeo, get over here. Feel solid?
Yeah, and of course we got these upside down. So that way they're not gonna get ruined while we're walking on them right now. That way when we're doing them, then we turn them back over. We have a really nice clean board when we're all done. We don't have to worry about it.
While we're building the deck and welding the pipes on to put this dock together, we're having to tread water. Romeo seems to be the only one not complaining. He's having the time of his life. Romeo, get back here, you dork. Come on.
We got that center going up right now, and then we got this side already framed in. The walkway, it's almost done, the bottom framing. We gotta get over to the other side and get some framing done over there. And, by tomorrow we should have it all framed in and ready to...
Ready to start decking?
Yeah,
Well, I talked to Dave about the roof. We want to do a shiplap on the as a decking above. So you're looking up and you're seeing a shiplap decking.
That.
Yeah. Don't want plywood there. I want to kind of keep that historic look. So he's ordering the columns. We talked about the height of those versus the width of those.
Is he going to go 10 foot on that?
He's going to go 10 foot. That means we're going to go a little bit bigger on the width of the column. It'll be about a 10-inch wide deal, which will look nice and hefty. And so once you get your poles set, we'll drop those over and then you can build up from there.
Yeah.
We're at an historic house on Willing Avenue that I bought to restore and then sell. We're expanding a 1930s kitchen that's in this 1920s house. On the outside, we took off all the brick and then leveled the foundation. The brick's been reinstalled now, and the porch columns are back up. For the last few weeks of this restoration, it's all about getting the details right, making sure this is spot on. So this whole stair hall really is one of the things I first fell in love with on this house. So I want to make sure that we protected it now. It's time to start cleaning it up. Make sure that when we get this new trim on, obviously we're not hitting square right there and everything else, but this is all part of it. I'm glad they got all this working again. This is great. Oftentimes in historic houses, the stairwell was lit with big picture windows, and this is basically a bayed window well. So it allows a lot of natural light into that area, and it's just a pretty feature. Let's also talk about these floors, because Franco's did, and he told me they did, was that they always covered with carpet. Historically, carpet was always more expensive than wood. And there was a period where carpeting was the material. A lot of times we go into these old houses and peel back the carpet and find, well-preserved wood floors.
We've never actually revealed these things.
That'll be a good time, right?
Look at me.
No time like the present.
Oh, there we go.
Ugh, look at that.
Oh, that's delicious, Brian. Get down there, get into that.
Wow, that is some
I
nasty.
really just want to get this started for you.
Look how pretty that is.
Gosh almighty. Yeah, it's amazing the way they preserve, isn't it?
The floors are in great shape.
Yep.
So we'll be able to sand and finish those. That's a good find. I'm glad they're in great shape. We've only got 1 week left to finish this project, and I've got to get this thing done to recoup the money that I've got invested in this house. The bank building restoration is a fascinating project, and after we discovered the cast iron columns, Jack gave me the go-ahead to revise the design to highlight them on the facade. At this point, we've salvaged material upstairs, are nearing completion of the work of the interior, have re-bricked the facade, and are now wrapping up the install of the windows and transoms. So that's the bottom there.
Don't finger the glazing, Brent.
Yeah.
Still pretty fresh.
I got a finger for you. Now it's going to go like this. There, you drop yours down. There you go. There we go.
All right. Got it?
Yes.
Good, because we do not.
Look at that fit. Perfect. That looks good. And then we'll just run a stop like they've got on the outside. And that's really, it's a simple deal, but that's historically how it was done.
Yeah, so all the doors are in with the exception of the vestibule.
Perfect.
We've just got this last frame, that transom to go in. And then really the exterior facade will be complete at that point.
That's great, and it looks great. I mean, I love how all this has come together. I really feel like we've given them this 1900s look again. So, so I mean, we're almost done, right? I mean, we're getting close. All the knock is finished.
Yeah, seriously. By the end of next week, it's going to start looking like a place that could do business.
Good, well, this is great. Come on, Romeo. Got 1 day until this build will be finished. The day we've got to install the bar. Oh, it's heavy.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah. Get on up. We got to mount the back bar on the wall. Then we've got to install the front bar and then put the front bar on the base. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Hit the slide right.
Well, you need to come
go
forward a
forward,
bit.
And this way.
Wow, look at that. That looks great. The back bar which we kind of designed to mimic the front of this thing. It fits the story, the narrative, the whole deal. I mean, we've got this kind of edge detail, and it looks like an old Western bar, right?
It does. It's all rustic saloon looking. That's cool. Bunch of whiskey bottles lined up across the top there.
It's also kind of perfect for, you know, this brothel upstairs, right? I mean, to have a whiskey saloon downstairs and the working girls upstairs.
Right.
I know this was a bank or is thought to be a bank, but it works for the whole narrative of this building now that he's bought it. And so,
Yeah, absolutely.
hope Jack likes it.
Now that it's in.
Yeah, exactly. Jack's coming tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm seeing is we got to finish the electrical, top out the plumbing. You got there's some paint touch up. Obviously, you got to get the place cleaned up, right? Do you think you can get it done?
If you can stall Jack, give me, you know, buy me extra half hour or something.
Yeah, let me see what I can do.
Romeo, give me a hand.
Romeo can stay and help you.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah. I'm back at the boathouse job today, and it's coming together fast. I think the guys are working so quick because it's 1,000 degrees out here.
Your dog looks like he's ready to get in the water.
What are you doing? Go get it. Go get it.
Oh, my goodness.
Come here, knucklehead.
Oh, that was fun. He went all the way under like a submarine.
All right. Looks awesome.
Yeah, that'll get that weld right in there. Perfect.
I think Mies van der Rohe said, God is in the details, right? It's just when you're talking about building and you're talking about construction and design and purpose, right? So that is totally true of this project. The piers are in, the deck is on, the roof is up. Now it's just the fine details. One of the more distinctive features about the women's clubhouse are the corbels. We're going to now take those corbels to the boathouse so it ties in with the rest of the property.
What we got? Yeah, we've got four. There's that last one of those.
Man, this thing looks great. These corbels, right, just really finish this piece out.
When you add something like that on it, it just makes it so much different.
Get the rafter tails on the end. They kind of mimic that same kind of detail.
Yeah, the same thing. And then you got all that shiplap.
Shiplap running this way. We use shiplap on the ceiling of this instead of plywood because we're trying to create this age and character. So shiplap was really the historic choice, the natural choice, but it wasn't a trendy choice. I wanted that to be clear. We were not being trendy here. We were being accurate. That's really going to finish out great. We just put the last corbel up and got a great idea how I'm going to show Dave this boathouse. Even with the grueling Texas heat, combined with the complications of building on water, this boathouse managed to go up in record time. And the best way to show it off to Dave, a fishing boat, of course.
Romeo, you're gonna have fun jumping off of this dock. This is awesome. Oh, look at the rafters underneath. What is that, all the boards going there?
Yeah, we got shiplap underneath there, and you've got the rafter tails. The boathouse I built when I was 19, this thing is leaps and bounds better. I mean, I'm really proud of this thing. We're copying and matching the women's cabin over there. And so we took that front porch detail and the siding pieces and that whole gable end structure.
Right.
And we picked up all the architectural details there so that when you come over here, there's a reference point, right? That you're looking at, you go, wait a minute, this reminds me of the other building. And it kind of reminds you where you are. All these details, cutting the rafter tails, the corbels on the columns, these big kind of open area, even the roof decking.
It's gorgeous.
So this is going to age really beautifully. I mean, it's going to have this character and this feel that's going to be really awesome. So we did these slips, so you got a wide one and a thin one. You know, this one, you know, on the water level and all the things we did here, it should be easy to step in and out of.
Brent was the perfect guy to do this because he takes the historical aspects of the other structures on our place, and now we've got a boathouse that fits perfectly. Kind of just commands attention on the lake. I love it.
Takes me back in time, you know, it's one of those places that, yeah, Norman Rockwell, you know, diving off the dock there, right? I mean, just, it's just put together like they used to put things together.
Right.
You know?
Well, and it ties together with the house that,
Right.
what'd you say, it was like 1890s?
Yeah.
So now we've got a boathouse that has that connection
Has that
point.
same flair. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
I love it, and I
Good.
know everybody else, you know, that's going to come see this is going to really enjoy it.
I think it's a special deal, and it's fun to build something like this when people appreciate the history and we can actually infuse it into the design. It's just awesome.
We need to get you back soon.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, like, what's wrong with now?
Well, you're not dressed right, that's what.
The bank building's done, and I'm really excited to see what Jack thinks. I mean, I asked him to spend a little bit extra money on the column, so I'm anxious to see if he thinks that was worth it. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Brent.
How are you?
Good.
What do you think?
Wow. This is incredible. Doesn't look like the same building.
Well, I don't think it is. Yeah, we really able to transform this building to something that really goes back to where it was built in the early 1900s.
It really is.
It's amazing how much they had covered up originally. The brick that was covering the facade. We found those original columns, and this was decorative and right from that period. But I think now you have a real distinctive feature. I mean, it tells the story of this building, right? We knew that it was one of the first buildings here.
Oh, yeah, I love the windows.
Well, you ready to see inside?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right, so here it is. Come on, Romeo. What are you doing? Huh?
Hey, Romeo. Wow.
So,
this
yeah,
is
kind of a transformation. First of all, we got a floor.
Wow. Yeah, where's the dirt? Yeah, it was about 3 feet deeper in dirt last time I was in here, so I think it's awesome.
What I love best is that, you know, all that cool history that was kind of stopped in time upstairs, we've kind of brought downstairs.
Right.
We've taken the moldings and trim from upstairs that we know was here, brought those downstairs.
Oh,
so
cool.
The door design is based on a door design from the early 1900s, the transoms. Kind of this whole deal is kind of set up so that you're going back in time, which is fun.
I love it.
All right, well, so if you're ready, I want to show you, like, my favorite part of this whole deal. We did the bar, and I think it's really turned out awesome.
Check it out.
Yeah. Come on, Romeo. You are a knucklehead, you know that? All right, so what do you think?
Oh, wow. Love it.
Isn't this great?
Yes.
Do you serve whiskey or beer at the bar?
Whatever you're drinking.
Well, I love this piece because, you know, this one came from an early 1900s store, maybe even late 1890s. So it totally fits this building, right? 1904. And then the back bar, I think, is really great. I mean, we took this cove detail, and that bead was mimicked from this right here, right? So these look like they came from the same period, same place, same millwork catalog.
Right.
I think you're ready to go, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that you've got a bar here. You had a brothel upstairs. I mean, we're really going back in time now. You know, I talked you into those columns on the front. You know, I said it was going to be extra money. Do you think that was a good decision now?
Yeah, I was a little nervous at first, but they look great. It was an important part.
Yeah, I think it transformed.
Old West, you know, that's our product. It matches what we do. You know, this is a great fit for our business. I'm glad we did it.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to be back in about 2 weeks when you start serving whiskey.
I'll be ready for
Get
you.
some furniture in here, bring my wife, and I'll just do the whole
There
deal.
you go.
Great thing about Jack was he was open to letting me geek out to all the historic stuff that we could do here. Everything that we've put in kind of speaks to that turn of the century time period. I think it makes this space fun, historic, interesting. People will want to shop here. This is a cool space. Come on, Romeo. I heard some girls calling upstairs.